Do you know if you're in control of your users and their access? And how do you prove this to, for example, management or auditors? Having control over who can access which data and which applications in your organization is crucial. But proving that you do have control is still a challenge for many organizations. That's why in this video, I want to give you 8 categories of key identity indicators that you can measure. These indicators together cover security, risk, operational efficiency, and compliance, so you know whether you are in control and can prove it. If you're eager to apply these indicators to your organization, check out our canvas in the description below. If you want to know more, there's also a full guide to get you started. So first, orphaned accounts. Orphaned accounts are accounts that are no longer active or have no owner, such as users that have not logged in for quite some time or accounts that are not linked to an active employee. And not taking care of these accounts creates unnecessary security risks, as they are an interesting path for hackers to gain access to organization resources, applications, or systems. So get rid of them. Second, privileged accounts. Privileged accounts are accounts with more or more sensitive access rights than ordinary accounts. They typically have significant access to organization resources and sensitive data, or can change or disable systems. It's impossible to eliminate all privileged accounts because you need them to operate, but it's good practice to keep an eye on them and keep them to a minimum. The category access accumulation is about users that have accumulated far more access rights than they need to do their job. Finding these often boils down to finding outliers. For example, users that have far more access rights than their peers, or users whose access pattern deviates from a certain access profile. Keeping access rights to a bare minimum is also known as the principle of least privilege. And in combination with removing orphaned accounts and monitoring privileged accounts, this principle ensures that the identity attack surface is as minimal as possible. Next, identity hygiene or identity clutter. These are accounts that are not orphaned but are just as unnecessary and make identity management less manageable. Think about duplicate accounts or accounts without roles or entitlements, so empty accounts. This stuff makes the environment less clear, more chaotic, and that often results in mistakes and inefficiencies that could have been avoided. The fifth category of key identity indicators is role hygiene. This is quite similar to identity hygiene, but as you can expect, this category focuses on roles or groups rather than on accounts. Think about empty roles, so roles that do not consist of any other roles or entitlements, roles that are not assigned to any users, and overlapping roles. Not cleaning up these redundant roles makes role management even more cumbersome, and employees could be assigned a wrong role and thus wrong access rights. Next category, data quality. This is an important and rather fundamental category, as garbage in is garbage out. So you can measure all you want, but if the data is not complete, is not correct, the indicators will be incorrect. And basing decisions on incorrect indicators, on incorrect information in general, can have negative consequences. Measuring data quality, however, is not always easy. The easiest is to measure incomplete data, incomplete information, such as users without a department or manager assigned, but also paying attention to inconsistencies across multiple applications, such as users with different names or typos, is important. Segregation of duties is a crucial control for security reasons, for sake of regulations, and for avoiding fraud, by disseminating sensitive tasks and the required roles, entitlements, or permissions to execute those tasks. These combinations are often modeled as toxic combinations, and the amount of users with such toxic combinations should be as low as possible. In addition, you should also measure your SOD policy coverage, which is the amount of combinations of roles or entitlements that occur in practice, but for which it's not clear whether it's a toxic combination or not. The last category are business-specific indicators. Many organizations have business-specific security policies or risk controls that have to be monitored. In financial institutions, for example, it's often the case that an employee needs a proper certification or training to perform a certain action. You can add any specific indicators for your business in this section. So these were the 8 categories of key identity indicators that you should measure so you know whether you are in control of your identities and can prove it. If you want to read about it in more detail and get more examples of indicators, download our guide on this topic. The link's in the description below. If you want to get started yourself, you can download our key identity indicator canvas. The link's also in the description below. Thanks for watching.